Wrong, sir. Wrong. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I'm Liz.
This is Surly Amy from Skepchick.org.
Bob Keith from Sydney, Australia.
Hello, I'm Daryl Ray, author of Sex and God and The God Virus.
This is Rebecca Watson of Skepchick.org.
I'm Vivian Wheeler from Planned Parenthood. I am Devin Napoli from Planned Parenthood.
I am Richard Carrier.
I am Monette Richards from Secular Woman.
I am Stephen Olson from Carl Sagan's Dance Party.
I'm JT Eberhard, and I'm a he-thinker who loves the she-thinkers.
I'm Debbie Goddard. I'm from the Center for Inquiry and African Americans for Humanism, and I'm a human thinker.
I'm a Faisal, and I'm a he-thinker, she-thinker, they-thinker, it-thinker.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Fitzgerald, and oh yes, I am a she-thinker.
Hello, and welcome to Secular She-Thinkers, where secular girls geek out and justifiably rage. I'm your host, Dory Mooneyham, joined by my co-host, the Dirty Nerdy.
Hi!
And our special guest, C.
How is it?
What?
Exactly.
Hey, it's like our first live episode in like over a month.
I know, it's been so long. I've missed you guys. Spelled G-A-I-Y-Z.
Today is July 19th, 2014. Tonight we're going to talk about Hobby Lobby.
Boo!
We also have the secret word.
Hold on, we're not done hissing at Hobby Lobby.
Hiss,
hiss, hiss. Cats and snakes hate you, Hobby Lobby. The coolest animals.
Yep.
Slytherin. That's right, snakes.
Oh,
because I found out the devil.
I found out while Dory was in Thailand that I'm a Slytherin. I was very sad about it for a while, but I think I'm starting to come to
I know that nobody can
come to
see,
terms with it.
but C has an amazing banner on the wall.
She does have an amazing Slytherin banner
that I made that was made in 7th grade. I'm just saying.
So when
Hashtag
C,
Slytherin for life.
When C and I hiss like cats and snakes, that's where that's from.
Yeah,
cats because they're cool.
Cat, obviously.
All right, go on.
All right. We also have the secret word, the Boston Troll, Masterpiece Troll Theater, and the shitty sexist song. Because we're changing the name.
We are changing the name. I would just like to apologize for so long using the term stupid in that title. We discussed it and decided that is ableist, and we would rather not use that word anymore. And so yeah, if we use ableist language and shit on this show, just call us out on it, and we will do our best to change our behavior and everything.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So we're sorry.
Wait. I'm sorry. I don't understand. You're acting like a mature adult. And I
have been told I'm immature because of this show. So
yep.
Oh no. What? That doesn't. Don't even talk to me. Don't even just stop.
Anyways, this is our sincere apology for contributing to ableism in whatever small or large way that may have been. So we are changing the name to Shitty Sexist Song because they're all shitty.
Yep.
Yes.
So shitty.
And shitty is both more accurate and more appropriate than the S slur.
All right.
Which is so hard to take out of your fucking vocabulary, but it's really because
it's so ingrained.
And you know what? And this is not like an ism that's hard to explain to people. I literally explained all of why you shouldn't use ableist slurs.
Yeah.
In like a second to somebody. I was like, okay, so why is someone being stupid bad? I was like, if somebody has a low intelligence, I was like, they're less cognitively capable. I was like, what's...
So that means it's bad.
What's the problem?
I don't know.
All right.
All right, so...
First, a word from our sponsors. She Thinkers is sponsored by Audible.com. To check out their service and get a free audiobook of your choice, go to audibletrial.com/shethinkers. You can download books to your Apple and Android devices and just about anything else you might listen through. Again, go to audibletrial.com/shethinkers to download any free audiobook of your choice. That's SHETHINKERS. She-Thinkers!
She did it with us! Oh,
yay!
Her first time! Alright, what was next? I haven't done the show in so long, I forget.
I know, right?
What's next? Secret word?
It's time for the secret word.
Yay! The secret word tonight's secret word. I thought the kids' yay came after that. We're a little rusty tonight, guys. Tonight's secret word is scrotus.
See, this is why the kids weren't.
Oh, okay.
weren't
You don't
sad.
want kids cheering for the scrotus.
Nope. They are not impressed.
So basically, scrotus is the name we have decided to give to all of the male
justices
on the Supreme Court. Because I was sick of people...
All of the male justices who voted against.
For Hobby Lobby and against women.
Or for Hobby
basically.
Lobby and against us.
And we decided to do that, to come up with a different term for them, because right after the Hobby Lobby decision, I kept seeing tons of posts just lambasting SCOTUS in general, and I was like, no.
No. It's
This
not
was not
called SCOTUS.
This was not a unanimous decision. It was
5-4.
5-4 split. That's pretty close. That's possible could be overturned in the future close. So, no, this was not the whole SCOTUS. It was the scrotus that spearheaded this.
Scrotus. Scrotus. You have to really
So fragile and weak.
So fragile and weak and temperamental, shrinking away.
They're just too emotional to make these kinds of decisions.
I know, you can't really leave men alone together because they just get so whipped up and then the tears come out. John Boehner starts crying.
Glenn Beck starts crying.
Glenn Beck is crying. Everyone's crying. And
then the circle jerk starts and you're just,
And then there's just
you get
men's
nothing
fluids
done.
everywhere. Just men's fluid all over the place. Just all over Fox News. Just ew.
They
let me
look
get some hand sanitizer.
They look
Ew.
like if I touched them, they'd be sticky.
Oh, so we should spell
The
out.
good thing that you'll never have to touch a man.
We're not announcing that on the show. Yes.
Does the R in scrotus stand for Republican or repulsive? Which one?
Can it be both?
Sure.
I'm a bisexual. Can it be both?
Why not both?
How do we not have that drop?
I don't know. All right, so that's our secret word for tonight. So.
I think it's because you just want me to say both all the time.
I want you to say both all the time.
All right, should we talk about the boss?
No, troll first.
Troll first.
Let's start with the troll.
We gotta end on a happy note.
We need that. We need our happy ending. So.
No one's ready.
No
one is ready.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay, so our troll is the California court that backed a Christian university's expulsion of the transgender student for fraud, quote unquote.
Because we're deceptive. Hooray.
Hold on. Deception.
Disgrace.
Yeah.
As far as we're going tonight.
So, California Baptist University, it's a private Christian college. They had the California court ruled in favor of 4 of their 5 claims against Domain Javier. Javier? Is that, or is it Javier?
I have no.
I'm not sure. You're on your own.
I'm not
on this
looking
one.
at it, so.
Nope.
Okay.
We're not reading. You are.
She's a nursing student who was
I'm
expelled.
a woman.
From
I can't read.
She's a nursing student expelled from the school in 2011. The school claimed that she engaged in fraud by applying as a woman, although she has identified as female from childhood, so I don't understand how this is fraud.
No. Ever since I've come out, I've never signed a document that has M on it. Or submitted anything.
Because then you're basically consenting and confirming that that's the truth, and it's not the truth.
It's not
the fucking truth.
The only thing the court granted in this basically was that the college's library, theater, and restaurants are public businesses, so they can't discriminate against her and deny her access to those facilities. That was the only thing that good thing they did. And it's basically built on the claim that CBU is not a business establishment. It's an educational establishment, which
wrong.
I would agree with if, colleges weren't
also businesses.
Yeah.
I would agree with that if literally our entire generation wasn't going into debt to get degrees that aren't really getting us any fucking jobs.
So they basically said that it wasn't covered under California's Civil Rights Act.
Then write a better Civil Rights Act.
Right? Hashtag problem solved.
Hashtag problem fucking solved. You can pass a fucking Proposition 8 and get together to keep the gays from bumping uglies, but which doesn't even work.
Hey, they can never keep me from bumping uglies.
Hey,
nope.
We've been fucking without your
bump uglies.
benefits
I
for thousands of millions of years. Just
you know what? We don't.
The queers are done. The queers are done with you, and we're done with just.
Queers don't bump uglies. We bump pretties.
Yep.
Queers don't bump nothing. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, the school is the troll and the court is the troll, and the people who didn't make this law broad enough to include colleges is the troll.
The whole society is the troll.
Trolls. Just God, there's too many trolls.
You're just like Scrotus. Just
like the Scrotus.
Just wrinkly little Scrotus. Just a wrinkly little Scrotus.
That's like 5 drinks there
Yep.
for anyone who's counting. Okay, so let's move on to the boss. Who's our boss this week?
Willy Wonka has something to say about the.
Oh, I
about
forgot. Okay.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right.
Almost forgot that part.
What are you doing? C is not doing anything.
All right. So our boss this week is oh fuck, I forgot to look up her name. Go Google research.
Go Google research.
We were so excited about
The Lady Ninja Warrior.
We were so excited about Masterpiece Troll Theater. We forgot to actually put a link in here.
Casey Catanzaro.
I knew it was Casey. Katie Catanzaro.
Casey.
K-A-T-C-Y.
Yes.
And she's 24.
She's a gymnast. Trained as a gymnast, at least.
Holy...
She's
like my age, and she's
won,
over here.
tons
She's
of
up on
shit.
TV, like, shitting on my life, like...
She did this specifically to shit on your life, see? She's secretly our troll. No.
That's not trolling. I do not begrudge her anything. Like,
All right,
she's
yeah.
a badass, and she
She's a
deserves
badass.
everything that she gets that's positive.
She's the first woman to ever complete the American Ninja Warrior Challenge.
Which there's a
Which is
multitude
pretty
of
huge.
bullshit reasons for.
Yes.
But nonetheless is a huge thing to fucking celebrate. No, actually, guys, I'm just kidding. We're apparently totally wrong about that. We had this really helpful man explain it to us.
So, as part of our boss this week, we are going to...
It's time for Masterpiece
Troll
Troll Theater!
Hey!
Hang on, let me put some white people music on. for
Okay,
this.
put some white people music on while I introduce all of our actors. Or actresses.
People
who are doing this. Alright, so C is going to play the lovely troll.
Oh, you gotta send me the script.
It's in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
We are so prepared tonight, everybody. This is
professional.
This is
Hashtag
our
professional.
No, this is all part of our protest against Boy Scouts.
Yep.
Dory will be playing herself. I will be playing myself as well as our cool guy friend whose thread this happened on. I don't know if he wanted us to use his name on the show.
Don't
on the
use
show.
it unless you already know.
So we will call him Josh. Oh, did you want to play the wonderful man who came on later?
I just wanted to play the awful person.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, you only want to play the awful person. Okay.
You and I'll trade off. It's cool.
I'm still waiting
trade
for the C. It is so hard to get rid of the fucking ableist slurs in your speech. Like,
But... Alright, are we ready?
Do you have it?
on the is it on the She Bulletin?
It's on the It's on the She Thinker bulletin. Here. New zine coming out soon. It's such that's such a white girl feminist thing, a feminist zine. Do you see what it's supposed to be?
The picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pictures. There's
I thought you already had
screenshots.
this pulled up.
Oh my
That's
god!
what I thought.
Get it together, see.
Get it together.
You're the troll. You're the most important part.
Okay, so who's the awful person?
It's the first comment. That's you.
The one that's not you.
Hold on, I got it. Oh.
I don't know which. I don't know which one's the first one.
We need Tina moaning.
Dirty nerdy, fix my shit, fix my laptop. Dirty nerdy.
I'm trying to. It's not loading.
Oh Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god.
What the fuck, C?
Seriously, this is live, everybody. And your computer is frozen. Fuck it. I have it open. Come over here. We'll
Get
share
over here.
Get over here. Get your ass
Jesus.
over here. Do you have it open?
Yes.
Okay.
Wasted all this time. Jeez.
I have it open. Right here.
All right, let's do this.
Let's get on with this.
You started. Okay.
Oh, this tone trolling piece.
Okay.
We're not. Are we saying their names?
Go ahead.
Don't say their names.
First,
The first name.
initials.
No, you're playing a part, so we don't say names.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's great. It's great. But it slightly annoys me that there is the mentality that her being able to compete with men is a big deal.
And that more people aren't upset that her being allowed to compete with men is a big deal. They do so much talking about what an exceptional outlier she is, but no, she's badass, but I know quite a few women personally who could have gotten pretty close on that thing. Right. Definitely as close as the men who lost, and yet somehow no woman has ever tried it before.
So, this is Josh speaking. Any way one looks at it, she's a badass. It will be so much better when she's just one badass among many of her closest badass friends.
This is me, so there's no silly voice for it.
Okay.
I guess.
I didn't do a silly voice.
I don't know about that. Most people can't complete Ninja Warrior, and no woman ever has. I think that's worth celebrating.
Agreed. She's a fucking ninja. It just annoys me that they make such a big deal out of gender. I'm still in awe with her on the tibby bars where she just flew across.
She has the odds stacked against her. This course is designed for male bodies. The announcers point out throughout the video how her size at 5 feet is a huge disadvantage. While a tall person, and men are on average taller than women, would be able to just reach across some of these obstacles, she has to use her whole damn body to get it done. That's fucking amazing. She was going up against a sexist design and still crushed it. And that's not even addressing how girls aren't encouraged to be athletic and all the other things that make things harder for female athletes. When a 5-foot dude who has systematically discouraged from pursuing athleticism his whole life pulls off the same thing, then I'll act like it's no big deal.
So make a big deal about her being short, but not about her gender. There are short guys who compete as well. And she was encouraged to be athletic, hence all the gymnastics.
Yeah, which makes her an outlier.
Well, out of respect for
Josh,
I am just gonna agree to disagree and not tell you what I think of your mentality. Have a beautiful day.
Josh speaking. Oh, troll, step carefully. When a woman tells you that as a woman she thinks it's fucking huge that a sexist deck was sexistly stacked against her and she kicked its ass anyway, it's usually not a bad idea to take a step back and consider.
Like I said, we clearly disagree, and I know if I continue it will devolve, and I in no way want that, so I will just bow out. Everyone has their own obstacles in life.
And some people have more obstacles. Which is why it's important to acknowledge when those obstacles are overcome, rather than pretend we live in a magical utopia where sexism doesn't affect women athletes.
Not saying it doesn't, just saying it shouldn't. And I disagree with more obstacles. Different obstacles. It is great that she is empowering women, but it's bullshit that they need empowered. They should never feel lesser in damn society for doing so.
Oh, how nice it is.
I fail to see how highlighting the accomplishments of a female athlete, which almost never happens because of, again, sexism and athleticism, is making women feel lesser. Just about every woman I know is pretty pumped to see her succeed.
And that is why our conversation will go nowhere, and I decided to back out of it a while ago. I won't be able to get you to see it from how I see it, and you will not get me to think that one human's accomplishment is bigger than another's due to their gender. I am not trying to diminish what she did. There are only a handful of people able to beat the course, and they all deserve respect and admiration.
This is when I come in.
Just read it.
Sorry. Well, I'm playing more than one part.
Yeah.
Troll, you telling us that we shouldn't be celebrating and highlighting an amazing woman athlete is part of the problem. Women can't even celebrate our own accomplishments without being told to leave gender out of it, quote unquote. We don't live in a gender-blind society, but it's easy for you to pretend we do when you don't have to deal with the stigma and oppression every day.
Oh, lordy. You are totally misconstruing what I am saying. Celebrate.
Celebrate, just ignore her gender.
No, I'm not. You're telling us to just ignore gender. That's easy for you to say when you live in a society that treats your gender as the default.
No, just don't make it about her gender. I'm telling you that you can do anything I can do, and you want to make it out like I'm a bigot.
Why not make it about her gender? Women face a negative stigma in athletics. We aren't encouraged as much in athletics because of this stigma and as a part of it. Highlighting her accomplishments as a woman is an easy way to also encourage other girls and women in athletic endeavors.
Because you are asking that in order to celebrate her accomplishments, we must completely ignore the intersectionality of her gender and other identities. We should just pretend like it's no big deal for a woman to accomplish something that no other woman has done before.
And I didn't say you're a bigot. I said you're telling women to pretend gender and the stigma attached to our gender doesn't exist.
You're right, I'm wrong. Have a nice day.
Do I need to bring up the biased way people discuss women in sports, the ways our accomplishments are erased? Also, your passive-aggressive BS is noted.
BS? Don't go getting rude with me. I'm simply bowing out because this is going fucking nowhere.
I wonder why. As Josh. Troll, think about what they've said. Do a little reading up on intersectionality especially, then come back to this thought. And saying you're right, I'm wrong without really thinking that is totally passive-aggressive, dude.
I see you as an equal. You don't, and until that changes, we can't see eye to eye. That's the bottom line of it. I don't give a shit what society does. I do not.
You're right, I'm wrong. That's passive-aggressive BS. Don't try to pretend it's not.
It's simply me bowing out, admitting defeat and stepping away. We will not agree.
Big deal. Valentina Tereshkova was the first woman in space. Big deal. Elizabeth Blackwell was the first woman to become a doctor.
So, there is no point in upsetting each other over it. Realize I in no way think women are better or worse than men, and I am not the enemy. I have the right to my opinion just as you do.
Josh again. Bow out. That's totally fine, but do think about it. Read up. Don't just get entrenched in we're not going to agree. That's not the point, to draw lines and make sure we go over them in bold marker. People don't jump into these conversations just for shits and giggles. As me. Troll, it's real nice that you don't give a shit what society says. Unfortunately, I'm the one who has to live in this society. Do you really not see how annoying it is for a person who isn't affected by a certain kind of oppression to act like it's easy to just ignore that oppression and not give a shit? It would be like if I told a black person to stop highlighting the accomplishments of black people because I don't see color. As Josh, you have the right, you are not entitled to it. Those are different.
No one said you didn't. We have the right to tell you you're wrong.
I have the right to my opinion. Unless I'm literally taking away your right to an opinion, this is the most pointless thing to say ever.
Did I say you couldn't have yours? I said I didn't agree with it and it annoyed me. But I didn't say you couldn't have yours. I said we should agree to disagree.
We're just pointing out what a ridiculous thing that is to say.
That is not me telling you that you cannot have yours. And I disagree.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with your right to an opinion, we're disagreeing with the opinion.
Which you seem to imply we're taking away some right of yours, which is odd, considering none of us have the power to send police to your door and silence you.
OMG, can this guy ever get the point of anything ever? Nobody said anybody couldn't have an opinion. Saying I have a right to my opinion is pointless, and this argument is pointless. You can bow out whenever you want, by the way. Nobody is forcing you to stay here.
Your opinions are bad, and you should feel bad!
That's my gif.
Zoidberg gif.
I understand that, but it is hard to walk away when I am being so clearly misunderstood.
That sounds like a personal problem. Odd that there have been several women liking our comments, yet nobody is stepping in to back you up on your opinion. Might be something to consider. It's almost like women have more experience with sexism in athletics than men do.
All I was saying is that women are men's equal. And making it out as a huge victory that some women accomplished an obstacle course just highlights the division in society that is only there due to ignorance. Celebrate her accomplishment. Take power from it if you didn't already know you were just as capable as any man.
Alright, you gotta butch it up for this one.
Okay. New dude comes in.
Wait, can I do this one?
Do you want to do this one? Alright, you do this one. New dude enters the discussion.
Chris, I think a good way to put it is this. Your mindset is not the problem. In fact, it is an admirable end goal. The ideal is a world where no one truly cares or needs to care about gender.
British. You're kind of dude bro British.
British dude bros are awful.
I'm sorry I interrupted.
Keep going.
Now I
I can't do the voice anymore.
Fine. However, your mindset does enable people whose mindsets are the problem. Your approach is great if everyone else thought the same way. But until we have reached that consensus, sexism must be highlighted and discredited at every turn. As such, celebrating the fact that a woman athlete accomplished this is, in fact, a big deal. The only way to end sexism is to show the damage it has caused, and this is a worthy event to point out sexism in sports. This is the same reason I don't like when someone uses the word F-slur, even if they are not using it as a slur. It enables others who do use the word hatefully.
Hashtag drink slurm.
Until we live in a world without sexism, pretending that men and women athletes are on equal footing is contributing to the sexism that women athletes have to deal with.
Also, it's just plain wrong.
Thanks, Randy, and that makes sense. However, it still annoys me that it is that way, and I guess that makes me a giant douche nuggle.
Okay, so real quick.
Just want to
Dirty Nerdy and I were messaging each other as soon as new dude entered conversation.
And I was watching this.
We messaged each other saying, he's gonna fucking get it now.
I thought
guarantee
the same thing.
So I said, OMFG.
Did that just happen?
Dory Shethinker, you fucking called it.
I fucking called it!
Same. And then I put this is my little summary of what happened. Dude says clueless shit about women in sports. Women tell him why he's wrong. Dude argues with them and complains that he's being misunderstood while ignoring all points women make. Other dude comes in and says the same thing women are saying. First dude suddenly magically understands. Now back to dude.
Look at his approach.
Oh good, the tone trolling is about to happen.
Note he is not being rude and says he appreciates that I think like I do.
He said the same thing we were saying. This has happened so many times in the past that Dory literally PM'd me to say, I bet he gets it now that other dude said something.
No, reread the shit.
Yay, our points, which were the same as his, aren't worth listening to because rude.
With you, I felt attacked.
Really? You felt attacked? I'm so sad for you. See this? Now I'm being rude because this shit annoys the hell out of me.
Because it was women telling you were wrong. Again, sounds like a personal problem. Not once did we call you a bigot, though you thought we did. Not once did we insult you.
Remember when Josh said you should listen to what the women were telling you? Remember when you chose not to listen? Remember when a man came on and said the same thing we were and you listened to him?
Don't be a cunt. I didn't agree with Josh either.
Seriously? Now with gendered slurs? Why am I not surprised? No, but you totes think men and women are equal.
It's okay, Dirty Nerdy. He doesn't see gender.
Yes.
No, of course not.
I call men cunts when they act like cunts too.
No, you don't. You're quite willing to call out a woman for speaking her mind and use her anatomy against her.
But I'm a sexist asshole. No.
Now I'll call you a bigot, though. I wouldn't have before.
You do not understand me at all.
Yeah, I understand you.
Nope. You think you do.
You're another dude who doesn't understand the first fucking thing about the oppression of women, but you still felt the need to lecture us about it and then call us cunts.
And you thought you did from the start. That's why you treated me the way you did.
Did I ever insult you? No, I didn't. I didn't insult you. I was annoyed at seeing yet another man telling women to just ignore the way society treats us because he doesn't see gender. So yeah, I let that annoyance come through.
You have both been insulting.
I never once insulted you or used a slur against you.
Insinuating that I am sexist is highly insulting.
Says the guy who just called me a cunt. Josh, I tagged him. You have a friend who thinks that calling women cunt is okay. You should fix this.
Yeah, you need to eliminate those people from your life. I take that very personally.
Fuck you.
Just as I would if you called me homophobic.
If the shoe fits.
And this is why I wanted to stop the conversation pretty much at the start. Attack me and insult me, and yes, I will call you names, whatever name I choose.
No, it's cool. Now we all see your true colors.
Yup.
Josh comes in. Calling anyone a cunt as a slur is out of bounds. A cunt is a marvelous thing, not a slur.
Whatever, Amy.
You have options. You could just turn off notifications and ignore what we had to say. Instead, you stayed, waited for a man to restate our position, then refused to even admit that you had ignored what we were saying the whole time.
No. If a woman had restated it and not been an asshole about it, would have had the same result as him.
If you go on a thread about the accomplishments of gay people and then tell the gay people that they shouldn't be paying attention to a person's sexual orientation, then I would have the same beef with you. If you then got pissed at them and started calling them F-slurs, then that would be doubling down.
You had it in your head that I was sexist from my first comment and worked to prove it any way you could.
You unabashedly use gendered slurs and then say it's insulting that anybody would think you were sexist.
And I don't care if someone's gay.
I didn't call you sexist. I said you were completely missing the point. I assumed you were ignorant on the issue.
It makes no difference to me.
Josh, again. You should have just gone away when you said you were going to and thought about the substantive points that were made. At this point, you've made it clear that you are not behaving as if you were an ally to an equality of the sexes. And we forgot
There's some more, but we didn't.
There's more to that. And then I facepalm.
But you'll probably call me homophobic even though I'm on the complete other side of that spectrum.
OMG, I never once called you anything. I never once thought you were an outright bigot. Ignorant maybe, but not a terrible person. You have proven me wrong.
And then...
Chill Girl comes in.
Chill Girl comes in.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Wait.
Why did an argument just happen over an awesome ninja gymnast?
Because some dude couldn't handle that we're excited she's a woman athlete?
No, some dude feels that making a big deal out of it furthers sexism. We fundamentally disagree.
Thanks for explaining to me how sexism works. I'm sure you know better.
Yeah, with allies like this, who needs enemies?
Yeah, because I have never encountered sexism. I have never been expected to be this or that because I am male.
New dude comes in. Keep digging, dude. You're clearly on the winning side of Frederick and Data.
Gets popcorn.
This guy gets like, we need to send this guy a fucking cupcake. This guy gets like, who is this? Can we say his name?
I don't. No,
I'm trying to avoid saying names.
We're sending this person a cupcake. That was just beautiful. I wasn't told I was gay as a child because I was in touch with my emotions.
Chill Girl. Shush, all of you. Stop antagonizing each other. You've said your bits. Now go away.
I wasn't told that I had to play sports even though I had asthma and didn't like them.
Me. Well, given that women don't hold power over men in our society, or any society, yes, that is accurate. It's possible to face discrimination, but men don't face sexism.
Wow. So I never face sexism?
Yeah, the same way that white people don't face racism, because race discrimination from a person because they're white.
Interesting.
Chill Girl again. And if you're not dead saying your bits, take it to PM. Stop it here.
That is racism. That is racism. Basing something on one's race?
Chill Girl.
That is racism.
This is a white dude, by the way, just
yes,
so everyone knows.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Chill Girl, out of respect for Josh, stop it. Addendum, I have it on good authority that Josh was cackling and thought this was hilarious.
Josh loves this.
If this ain't her wall, I really got no time for people that just can't. They're just, stop it! Like, girl, your parents aren't beating each other in the living room. You need to just be quiet.
Why are mommy and daddy fighting? I'm sorry.
Sexism, basing things based on one's sex.
Let's say that again. Sexism, basing things based on one's sex.
Pure gold, man.
Josh, no you didn't. It's just not a thing. If you're not in the marginalized class, you cannot by definition experience marginalization. Thus, as a male, you may have been subject to gender expectations that are admittedly largely bullshit, but it's not sexism.
That sounds pretty sexist and racist to me.
New awesome dude from earlier. But it's legitimate rape, right?
So sexism can only go towards women?
New awesome dude again. The Todd Aiken School of Tautologies is clearly open.
Climb that rope, you little girl. Man up. That's not sexist? Because I sure heard it as a child. I can't cry and still be a man. That's not sexist. Being in a group of dark-complected individuals... Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Being in a group of dark-complected individuals and being called Whitey and Cracker is not racism?
No, it's not.
No, it's fucking not.
Josh again.
Cracker.
No, those are BS gender role expectations based on patriarchal sexism, yes. But to say that you face systemic discrimination because you're a man, that's different, completely.
I'm sorry, but that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I want to point out that the troll did not even take a full minute to think about what Josh just said.
Yeah, no, this literally happened within seconds.
The same minute. Within seconds, he said it made no sense to him.
Yep.
That
Josh again.
makes no sense to me whatsoever. Oh, but wait, you're a guy, so I should agree. Because that's what I do, disagree with women and agree with men.
Awesome new guy again. Missing the point man is the worst superhero ever.
This is why it's important to actually listen to the people who are facing systematic oppression. Because being called girl because of your expression is not even on the same fucking level as actually being a girl in our society.
It is an insult to call you our gender fuckface.
Chill girl. Chill girl. Can we talk about how awesome this ninja gymnast is now?
That's what I'd like to do. Just be sure to not mention that she's a woman, because that's sexist. Chill girl, face palms.
Then I come back in. Troll, you clearly don't understand the first thing about power differentials, discrimination, oppression, racism, or sexism. Waits for him to pull out the dictionary definition as if it actually matters. And then I went back and saw that I missed the part where he actually did pull out a dictionary definition, and I said, I take it back. I take it back. It didn't take a man explaining it for you to understand, because you clearly still don't understand. Troll again.
Just stop, please.
Fine, blocked.
Same. And then awesome father ends it with the...
I'm sorry. Hashtag, just as an aside, I have a degree in linguistics. Don't argue with me. Don't fucking talk to me.
Alright, so do you want to read the awesome father?
Okay, let's do this.
You can do that.
For the record, my daughter is a competitive dancer and gymnast who I doubt would have been inspired by a really short guy. Role models are important, and so are women succeeding in non-traditional disciplines.
Asshole.
I want my daughter to see women and say, see, I can do anything. I can't believe anyone would argue about this. I don't...
Yes. You want to read this?
Yes.
It's still the awesome father guy. Same guy.
I don't want to start another 200 comment conversation about that, but I will say this. They mention it because it is a really big deal. They mention it because they are willing to acknowledge that the course and the competition are stacked against women. We should be willing to acknowledge that too. As an aside, the same week that Casey qualified for Mount Madoriyama, Hillary Clinton appeared on The Daily Show and I watched it with my daughter. I hope that when Secretary Clinton becomes the next president of the United States, people make a really big deal about that too. Because it is a big deal. Not because her sex is a detriment to her ability to be a president, but because for our society her sex is a detriment to her becoming president. Politics is a profession where the odds are stacked against a woman being successful. The odds are stacked against you from start to finish. When a woman comes along and has the tenacity and determination to push back and push forward through virtually insurmountable odds, thus far, clearly, those women need to be celebrated. They need to be acknowledged because their road was all the harder than it would have been if they'd been men. That isn't condescending. It's reality. Admitting that someone had more excuses to fail and persevered is not condescending. It is empowering. Telling my daughter that she is just as likely to lead a nation as her male classmates isn't empowering her. It's denying her the benefit of reality. Telling my daughter she is just as likely as a man to scale a 17-foot warped wall and power through a course that predominantly rewards upper body strength is not empowering. It is diminishing the extra challenges she will face to do it. I want my daughter to succeed at everything she does, but I want her to understand that she is often succeeding in a system that is rigged against her, and she ought to be proud of that.
George gets it.
This has been...
Slow clap.
This has been your weekly dose of Masterpiece Troll Theater. Can we end this, boring music now?
Yes.
It's just been in my ears.
Oh my god, there's been music this whole time? I didn't... Yes. I had no idea.
There was beautiful piano music the whole time that we were searching for the pictures on your laptop.
I couldn't hear any of that shit. Thank God, right? No dead air.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That took way longer than I expected.
Alright, let's get into Scrotus.
I don't want to get into Scrotus, and I don't want Scrotus to get anywhere in me.
Actually, I
agree.
I have to pee, and that really did take longer than I expected. Can we go to commercial?
Let's go to commercial.
Religious organizations exist to foster the interests of persons subscribing to the same religious faith. Not so for-profit corporations. Workers who sustain these operations are not drawn from one religious community. It bears note that the cost of an IUD is nearly equivalent to a month's full-time pay for workers making minimum wage. Oh, the court, I fear, has ventured into a minefield full of slut-shaming geezers and religious extremism. Oh, one thing thing's clear. This fight isn't over. We gotta stand together for what we know is right. Any decision to use contraceptives is not propelled by the government. It's the woman's autonomous choice informed by her doctor. Approving some religious claims while deeming others unworthy could be perceived as favoring one religion over another. Would the exemption extend to blood transfusions, antidepressants, and anesthesia, pills coated with gelatin, and vaccinations? Whoa, now the court, I fear, has ventured into a minefield full of slut-shaming geezers and religious extremism. Oh, but one thing's clear, the fight isn't over. We gotta stand together for what we know is right.
What's up? This is Dory.
And the Dirty Nerdy.
As you probably know, Be Secular is a proud sponsor of Secular Shethinkers.
But did you know the owners, Shannon and Mark, are not just sponsors, but also fans?
That's right, and we're fans of theirs too, because Be Secular doesn't just sponsor Shethinkers.
They sponsor lots of podcasts, artists, and organizations that support equality and the separation of church and state.
And we're all about equality and the separation of church and state.
They donate up to 50% of the profits to us as long as you go to besecular.com/shethinkers.
So be you. And be secular. Again, that's besecular.com/shethinkers.
Hey folks, this is your co-host Dirty Nerdy, here to talk to you about Audible.com. Did you know Audible has nearly 200,000 titles for you to choose from? They've got everything. Fiction, bestsellers, periodicals, you name it. And because you're our listener, you get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook just by going to audibletrial.com/shethinkers. And we get $15 for every listener who signs up. Yay! Woo! This week we personally recommend The Purity Myth, How America's Obsession with Virginity is Hurting Young Women. Jessica Valenti argues that the country's intense focus on chastity is damaging to young women. Through in-depth cultural and social analysis, Valenti reveals that powerful messaging on both extremes, ranging from abstinence curriculum to Girls Gone Wild infomercials, place a young woman's worth entirely on her sexuality. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/shethinkers. Again, that's audibletrial.com/shethinkers for any free audiobook of your choice.
Planned Parenthood believes in the fundamental right of each individual throughout the world to manage his or her fertility, regardless of the individual's income, marital status, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, national origin, or residence. They believe that respect and value for diversity in all aspects of their organization are essential to well-being. They believe that reproductive self-determination must be voluntary and preserve the individual's right to privacy. They further believe that such self-determination will contribute to an enhancement of the quality of life and strong family relationships. To donate your time or money, or to utilize their services, go to PlannedParenthood.org. Remember, for every dollar you donate to Planned Parenthood, Jesus blesses an aborted fetus. Hey, we're back.
We are back.
It's time to actually talk about Hobby Lobby and Curtis.
Yes.
That's how I feel about Hobby Lobby, I'm sorry.
It's not, you guys groan weird. It should be a
Buy your ampersand somewhere else. You don't even know what that's from.
It's still hilarious.
I thought you were just yelling at me.
There was a girl. Okay, so Dirty Nerdy and C
Oh yeah. Now
we
I know.
hosted a protest at a Hobby Lobby because we were pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, we were.
And one girl came up to us and she was like, I totally agree with y'all, but I have to buy an ampersand stamp. And I was like, girl.
Buy your ampersand somewhere.
Girl. Get your priorities straight.
You need an ampersand stamp more than you need.
Get your ass on AmazonTheFuck.com and get out. Just stop giving bigots your money. Like, I know it's to a certain extent impossible, but like there are some things we can achieve.
I was in Thailand still when the Hobby Lobby shit went down. And I was trying to explain it to my neighbor who's British. My vagina sister. I was trying to explain it to her, and she was just like blown away by almost everything. Like, she was just like, what the fuck is going on in the States?
Well, you couldn't just like tell her what it was. You have to first explain how our healthcare system works, what Obamacare is,
how the Supreme Court works, why there's a bunch of douchebags on it. We shouldn't really use douchebag as a pejorative.
Oh no, yes we will.
Hell yes we will.
Douchebag isn't a gendered slur. It's useless.
Douches are useless.
And they're not really very healthy.
That's why we use it as a slur.
That's why I use it.
Because it's not really a slur, it's just an insult.
Alright,
but I don't want it to be associated with being dirty because it's associated with like women parts or whatever, or vaginas.
But they're terrible.
Yeah, nobody uses douches. You should
Alrighty. So
douches are gross.
Let's talk about what the hell happened.
What the hell happened?
Oh my god.
Alright.
Okay, we just bear with us.
Okay.
This is something that's hard to distill into a few words.
I've seen a lot of people, like, they post memes, and they're supportive memes, you know, but it's a little bit factually inaccurate because you can't just distill this to Hobby Lobby Supreme Court outlawed birth control or something. I've seen a lot of people claiming that Hobby Lobby won't offer any birth control, or, you know, or that
was never even their
claim. They're not getting their facts
that wasn't
straight.
Yeah, basically. So I kind of want to get some facts straight here. Hobby Lobby is a closely held corporation. It's owned mostly by a family.
That's what closely held corporation means.
That's what it means. It pretty much means it's owned.
It's 2 parents and their 3 kids.
Yeah, a closely held corporation is basically a corporation that the majority stockholders are like
family members.
Like family members.
Even if that's like 40 people?
They are a rich Christian family, and they contended that the Affordable Care Act unlawfully required them to pay for insurance plans that included 4 contraceptives that have the potential to prevent the implantation of fertilized eggs.
2 emergency morning after pills and 2 IUDs.
Yep. They claim that facilitating the use of these violates their belief that life begins at conception. But don't worry, they don't mind the other 16 forms. All right,
even though they all work the same way.
One at a time.
This is the thing. They give a definition of when they believe life begins. Even by their definition, these aren't abortificants.
Nope. They're not.
Okay. By the definition they give.
All right.
They're not.
Don't hit the table.
Don't hit the table because it fucks with the mic. All right, so... Oh, fuck. I just lost my train of thought because everyone started yelling at once.
Hobby Lobby.
Okay, so we're on Hobby Lobby. They were only upset about 4 birth controls. And if anyone comes up to me and says, isn't 16 enough, I will tell them fucking hell no. It is not enough.
21 ain't even enough.
We got the Supreme Court, and this bleeds into the other myth that people were claiming that the Supreme Court is allowing companies to use the religious portion of the First Amendment to claim religious freedom. No, that's not what this is. Mm-mm. They did not even touch the constitutional argument that was used. They only looked at it from the perspective of the legislative, of what was passed in the U.S. legislature. It's a bill called the, oh shit, I just had the acronym in my name. It was like RFRA.
That's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, RFRA. It's the RFRA. Now, this bill was passed in the 90s, I believe, when Bill Clinton was president. Like,
I believe
94
so, too.
or something.
Don't quote her, though.
Don't quote me on that. It was specifically meant to counter a Supreme Court decision that said that arresting different minority people, part of minority religious groups, specifically people like Native Americans, arresting them for smoking peyote during religious rituals did not violate their religious freedom. This was about individuals.
Or didn't?
It didn't. The Supreme Court said it didn't because...
So they could continue arresting them?
So they could continue arresting them.
That's shit.
So the U.S. legislature took it upon themselves to fix this because it was obviously a problem. Basically, they wrote the RFRA specifically to move... They changed it so that now, when looking at religious burdens and whether or not something violates your religious freedom, it's based off of strict scrutiny. There's like 3 levels, basically. I can't remember what the other 2 are, but it basically goes from like most lax scrutiny of what the government's doing to the strictest. And in strict scrutiny, it says that if there is any other way for the government to reach their secular ends that doesn't burden religious people's beliefs, then they should use that end. That's
Which is a pretty dramatic.
It's a pretty dramatic change. It is. But it was specifically meant to apply to individuals, especially individuals who are part of...
Corporations are not people, corporations are not.
Yeah.
People.
Especially individual people who are part of minority religions that might get, like, swept under the rug when they make, like, drug laws and things like that.
Christianity is not a minority.
I know. Anyway, so this wasn't based off of the First Amendment. It was based off of the RFRA. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say FFRF. That's what I keep wanting to say.
I figured.
Now, let's get into the reasons why. Alito's opinion. The main pillar that it rests on is the fact that... I know, you can groan all you want. The main pillar that it rests on is the fact that the government has already created a separate way for women to gain access to birth control through their insurance plans without having to have it come through their employers. And that is the system they set up for nonprofit corporations, which we will discuss later why this is bullshit, conflating nonprofit with for-profit. We have that whole thing later.
That's literally why they're different categories.
Yeah, so Alito based this whole thing, like most of the argument was based off of the fact that the government could, in fact, reach their secular goal of providing reproductive freedom to women without having employers pay for it. The problems with this is that it ignores the facts that, yes, the government could very well do this. I would rather the government do this. I would rather get employers out of my healthcare decisions altogether.
Single plan, man.
Single plan.
Employers shouldn't have anything to do with your healthcare in the first place, to be honest.
But this ignores the fact that, like, we've all seen in the past 8-10 years, is that the Senate and Congress is basically at a gridlock. They can't get anything done. Much less, they definitely couldn't get a bill through.
We have obstructionist Republicans that have brought the House to a grinding
And not
halt.
only that, but, I think it was 2 days later. So the Supreme Court bases the whole argument on the fact that, they can just apply for an exemption through this other thing, and then they don't have to do it. There's already a way for you to reach your secular ends. They can just do that thing. Well, 2 days later, the Supreme Court granted an injunction. It's pending appeal, but they've basically sided with Wheaton College for now. They've granted an injunction in favor of Wheaton College. It's a Christian university that's basically claimed that filling out the exemption forms was itself a religious burden. So basically, they say, the government can just have them file for the exemption, but then they pull that rug out from underneath them as well.
And so like, but then you'd have to do paperwork.
But then paperwork, and it's a permission slip for abortion. No, it's not. The permission slip comes from my doctor, not from you, bastards. And I just want to say, like, they specifically said over and over again, in the majority of opinion, in various ways, like various phrases, that this was a narrow ruling. They were trying, and
Shut the hell up.
This is something that Roberts does all the fucking time. Anytime they make some sort of controversial ruling, they did it back in Lawrence v. Texas, and Scalia actually called Roberts out on that. He was like, this isn't a narrow ruling. You can't just declare that by fiat. And now they're claiming that it was a narrow ruling, which I guess we can get into that next, how it's already having a wide impact.
Yeah.
But he basically just wanted to be able to claim this isn't going to affect anything else, and then hope that nobody noticed it affecting everything else. Yeah, so that's
Just live in
that's
fantasy
pretty
land.
much the majority opinion. In a nutshell. Now, I am not a lawyer. I have only had...
None of us are lawyers.
None of us are lawyers. I have had legal training, though. So I was the one who read the opinions and the relevant... I read Alito's opinion. I couldn't stomach the other ones.
Right.
I read some of
the dissents.
Ruth Bader
Okay.
Ginsburg's.
No, but there was more than one majority opinion written, basically. Yes,
I didn't-
that can happen.
I only
they
read
were
the
they were. What is it? There's this word for it: consenting opinions or something.
Yeah.
Something with a C.
Oh, nobody cares.
I don't know. Nobody cares about that. The minutia of all that bullshit.
Yep.
If you're interested in in a more in-depth legal analysis of all this, the SCOTUS blog has some really great articles.
It's a great resource.
It is a great
my
resource.
government class had us check that every morning.
So I would go check the SCOTUS blog, read their articles about it. They have some really great ones. In fact, I think I have one. Yeah, I have one of the things I have open right now is from the SCOTUS blog.
Yep.
All right, so
Talk about the dissent.
let's talk about the dissent.
We already got to hear a little bit of it. From
We
our
did.
Hashtag neckerchiefs are back in style.
Because
talk
Ginsburg is a
lace
boss.
neckerchiefs. Lace neckerchiefs.
This is where we can discuss the difference between nonprofits and for-profit. Do we want to just quote her? Do you want to quote her first?
Sure.
All right, for-profit versus nonprofit. Go.
Religious organizations exist to foster the interests of persons subscribing to the same religious faith. Not so of for-profit corporations. Workers who sustain the operations of those corporations commonly are not drawn from one religious community.
I know we could just play this song. We already did.
Yep.
I want to point out that if I go to work for a nonprofit, like she says, regardless of whether or not it's religious, I'm typically going to work for one that aligns with my interests.
Yeah.
I'm not. I might get paid by a nonprofit. Some of them are able to pay their employees. I might even get a benefit package from them. That would be cool. But if you're working for a nonprofit, you're typically doing so because you agree with what they're working towards. You're not necessarily doing so in order to get a paycheck.
You don't do nonprofit for the money.
Except maybe Susan
Yeah,
Tillman.
you don't necessarily do nonprofits for the money, but it's nice if you do get paid. The difference is when you work for a for-profit corporation.
It's a for-profit corporation.
In general, the goal of working for a for-profit corporation is to
a paycheck.
It is to exchange your labor for a paycheck. Now, in the United States, we have our health care, our health insurance and health care is all tied in. It's tied in so much to employment that they have basically made it to where your benefits package, your health insurance and everything, that is a part of your paycheck. You are exchanging labor for that.
Yep.
You are entitled to that.
That's literally what it is.
That is what it is. And the way I see it,
wages.
Your paycheck is paying
the
for
way
that.
I see it, Hobby Lobby has now made it okay to discriminate against women and others who need these types of birth control because it is devaluing their work. It is devaluing their paycheck because health insurance through your employer is part of your paycheck.
The number on their check better fucking go up. If
Exactly.
They can't.
If you're not going to do that, then put that number up on that check.
That is not how insurance is supposed to work. Insurance is supposed to work where everybody's money goes in and everybody gets what they fucking need.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's why
That's how taxes work. That's why we don't get to say I don't want to pay taxes for the war, but for everything else. That's why.
This is why it's such a big deal that they're equating a for-profits company with non-profit. A for-profit company, their goal is to make money. Their goal is not to their goal is not to
spread philosophy or anything else.
Their goal is not.
There is no inherent good in capitalist activity.
They are there specifically to create capital, to make money
For themselves, not for anybody else. They're there to take it away from other people.
We have to fight tooth and nail to get them to share any of that with the workers,
and they don't.
Basically, what this is, that's also what this is about. It is a huge blow to workers to be able to say, oh, some parts of your paycheck can be taken away at your boss's discretion if they disagree with it.
Because of their sincerely held belief.
All right. So next, I want to discuss. A lot of people have been claiming that it wasn't a big deal, and I've seen a lot of liberal men doing this.
White liberal men, shut the fuck up forever.
It was very disheartening when I saw a bunch of liberal men posting that it wasn't that big of a deal because it was only 4 contraceptives. This is what Ruth Bader Ginsburg disagrees with you. This is what she said. The exemption sought by Hobby Lobby and Conestoga would deny legions of women who do not hold their employers' beliefs access to contraceptive coverage.
That is the
Legions
effect of
women.
this.
That is the effect. Now, when you look at me and say, "Oh, well, you have 16 others," that just tells me you're ignorant about how birth control works and how women's
how many
bodies-
millions of women there are in America.
There are millions of women and others who need to use this.
So we should take away Viagra.
For more reasons
and
than
be like,
just-
well, you have penis pumps, right? That's what I'm getting from this.
Those penis pumps are expensive as hell, too.
And then there's the idea that somehow if it's included in the insurance plan, then that means that Hobby Lobby is automatically approving of it, and it's somehow
just
granting that
ridiculous.
second and third hand approval is a religious burden. And this is what she says: any decision to use contraceptives made by a woman covered under Hobby Lobby's or Conestoga's plan will not be propelled by the government. It will be the woman's autonomous choice, informed by the physician she consults. She doesn't insurance doesn't work by going to your employer and saying, I need to see the doctor for this, and getting a permission slip, and then going to see the doctor. Fuck that. You just go see your doctor.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Your boss has no say in your medical decisions.
I don't understand.
And it really, and she also points out, and I love this, that the cost of an IUD is nearly equivalent to a month's full-time pay for workers earning the minimum wage.
Which is probably what they're earning.
Yeah, which is probably what a lot of them are earning.
If even.
And
if they're even earning $1,000 a month.
This idea that these things are, like, I kept seeing men, mostly, people who've never used birth control, mostly, saying, oh, well, it's only like $12. I'm like, what's only $12? What exactly? And honestly, there are plenty of women who can't use the other types of birth control.
Yep.
They either fuck with their body too much, or they just
don't do
work.
what they're supposed to do.
Hormones are tricky fuckers, man. You gotta get the right shit in there.
I have a close person in my life who has had 4 children because every single type of birth control she's used up until now, when she has the IUD, failed her. Every single one of them. So, yes.
And the IUDs are, like, that's the way of the future, is the IUDs. Yeah. That's the new pill. Because you don't have to try to remember to take the same pill at the same time every day.
To me. I don't know why. They seem so scary to me.
They have a 99% success rate. Like, that's the new...
That's not scary. Just, it's in you.
Here's the thing. Alito, in his majority opinion, did at one point sort of address concerns that this would be used by other religious groups that have other beliefs based off of...
oh man, this makes it even
that would
worse.
affect medications. And he basically said, this has no bearing on that. He didn't say that it would... He did not say specifically that this opinion couldn't be used to back their claims. They just said they weren't making any comment on it. So other religions could possibly come up and say, I don't want to cover this because of my religious beliefs. Now,
well, they always have to leave that open, don't they? Because religious equality, whatever.
So, Ruth Bader Ginsburg calls them on this because she's like, you can't just say that this won't affect those other things or you don't know that it will. She says, would the exemption extend to employers with religiously grounded objections to blood transfusions, Jehovah's Witnesses, antidepressants, Scientologists, medications derived from pigs, including anesthesia, intravenous fluids, and pills coated with gelatin, certain Muslims, Jews, and Hindus, and vaccinations. Not much help there for the lower courts bound by today's decision. Which is right. They don't make any type of declaration there, so this is gonna...
It's gonna affect everything.
Lower courts may or may not rule that these people can deny blood transfusions and things like that. And it's going to cause a lot of confusion.
Although the fact that Alito was trying to say, it's okay, it's just affecting women his decision.
That makes me feel even worse. I definitely saw a lot of atheist liberal men saying, this isn't a big deal because it's only affecting birth control. Look, they said so themselves. And I was like,
it's only affecting women. It's not a big deal.
Atheist men, shut the fuck up.
That makes me feel worse. Let me just put that out right there.
Seriously.
Even if this doesn't affect any other people, it only affects women and other people who need birth control. Even if it only affects these groups of people, that kind of makes it worse.
Yep.
Because then it's like, oh, as long as nothing affects men, we're good.
Then
Cis
that's
men.
okay.
As long as nothing is affecting cis men, then then it's not a huge deal. That's what, and it was only men I saw saying this.
Basically,
I'm sure there were some women out there.
That's the translation of what they were saying.
But in my feeds on Twitter and Facebook, it was only men I saw saying it's not a big deal because it's only affecting women, basically.
Thank you for showing me that you're a sexist asshole.
We've talked about how the supposed narrow scope is bullshit.
Yeah.
We've touched that in a lot of things. Well, we can talk about it more. It definitely has a wider impact.
Okay, but hold on, because...
Okay, sorry.
Well, while you've been talking, I've been reading more about the...
I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. I've been reading more about the Hobby Lobby stuff. Okay, so the first case...
Don't hit the table.
Don't hit the table.
Sorry! It's my table.
You're not my supervisor!
You're not my supervisor! So the first case was where Alito and everybody said that you should be able to use this thing that the nonprofits use in order to get your contraception. And then the dissent about the emergency request from Wheaton College was literally...
Sotomayor. Oh my god. We haven't talked about that. Sorry.
Because Sotomayor was like, no. Because literally, I thought, okay, so the form they have to sign is for them to get birth control from the employer's insurance, and that's why they're mad and say it violates their religious liberty? No. In order for them to go to the government and get their government birth control, because their employer is a bigot and doesn't want to give them fucking birth control, they have to get their employer to sign an opt-out. So they can opt out of doing it at their employer's insurance and then go get it from the government. And then they don't want you to go get it from the government either. So it's like they actively don't want you to get health care from anyone, even if they don't have to pay for it.
They're basically
That's
saying...
why they were mad, because you were going to go to the government, and they called it a permission slip for abortion. As if we need their permission.
This is what they're saying. It's... Hobby Lobby claimed that it was the fact they were having to pay for it, but that's not even it. The thing that affects that they think is a burden to their religious beliefs is the idea that any woman who's working for them might be using it. The idea is... The idea that if they cannot control whether or not these women use birth control, then it's a religious burden on them.
That's their argument.
I have a question. How well does Hobby Lobby treat its employees who are pregnant and have small children?
Probably not that well. Pregnancy discrimination is a huge deal.
Yep.
We should have a show on that.
Okay.
We have. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about the wider impact of this, since apparently a lot of people don't realize this. Okay, first of all, the Hobby Lobby decision, yes, was only about 4 different things, or four different types of birth control. And we have discussed that, yes, this will still affect a lot of women.
Yep.
And then we've discussed the fact that the very mechanism they suggested for the government fixing this without encroaching on Hobby Lobby's supposed religious beliefs
is now also a religious violation.
It's now also a religious violation pending appeal that's still going through the courts. They just got an injunction. Okay. Well, now there are more cases being reconsidered in appeals court. Not only did they 2 days later grant that injunction to Wheaton College, but they also, the day later, kicked cases back to be reconsidered in appeals court. These cases were about companies that objected to all forms of birth control. So there's one with Catholic owners of a Michigan company that manufactures products for the auto and medical supply industries objected to all forms of services covered by the mandate. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit rejected claims on behalf of both of the owners and their companies separately. The Supreme Court vacated that ruling and ordered a new look under Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, I didn't say before, I meant to. I'm quoting from the SCOTUS blog right now, because I didn't type all this stuff up. Then there's the next one, which is 2 Catholic brothers who operate Ohio companies. They distribute fresh foods. The U.S. Court of Appeals for D.C. rejected the corporation's challenge, leading the brothers to appeal on that point. And so the Supreme Court, again, ordered reconsideration of the denial of the corporate challenge under the new Hobby Lobby ruling. Then, Eaton Foods, this is the one that's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, this guy, the owner of this company, his quotes have been going around social media a lot. And, but basically, he claims that beef with it was religious, but then all of his public quotes about it have been like politically motivated, not religiously motivated. And that's not covered under the RFRA. So the Sixth Circuit Court, relying largely on its ruling in the AutoCam case, rejected the claims both of the owners and of their company. The Supreme Court has now ordered a reconsideration of both aspects. So basically, they were saying this is a narrow ruling. It's not going to affect other forms of birth control. It's not
If they
going to
ever
affect
say
other
that,
things.
they're probably lying.
And then they immediately returned these cases that were about all forms of birth control.
And they were like, oh, go ahead and, you
need to reconsider this now that we've done the Hobby Lobby ruling.
Bye, Felicia.
And it's like, wait, if the Hobby Lobby ruling doesn't affect these things, then
why did you kick it back down?
Why do you need to reconsider it? Yeah, there were also a few cases that were denied review. They were ones where the government appealed because the company won.
Yeah.
So they were denied review by the Supreme Court in light of the Hobby Lobby ruling.
Yep.
So those appeals held up.
Also, the push for ENDA has stopped because of this, too.
Yes, the push for ENDA has stopped because now there are companies... It was kind of being worthless to begin with.
Yeah,
but,
let's just call it.
Let's just
like
call
it
that. They were already... That was already kind of shitty. But...
I was like, what a surprise, we're backing down from ENDA again. Never seen that happen before.
But this isn't only affecting birth control, it's also affecting other things that companies might religiously object to.
Like
such as
LGBT people.
Yeah, such as LGBT people. I guarantee you soon we're going to hear about a college or a...
our very existence.
We're going to hear about a corporation coming out and saying that they refuse to cover trans health care or something.
Yep. Oh, and it'll pass, too.
Yeah, it will.
Because everybody shits on trans health care.
Hashtag thanks, TERFs.
Yep.
Not really. Go away, TERFs.
So basically, this is a very wide ruling. It is scary.
You know what? If it's in the fucking Supreme Court, it's a fucking wide ruling.
I know.
You know, I was thinking about this and trans medical care because they're linked together. Like, this is about bodily autonomy and being taken away from you, which we've mentioned before. But literally, when I see these cases and other things, the impression that I get constantly is that if it's not something that cis-het men need, then it's cosmetic.
Cis-het white
then
men.
it's cosmetic and optional. That's literally how laws end up being
Even
passed.
if it's like...
All right.
Even if it's like even if it's a breast reduction for back pain or
oh yeah, that would be cosmetic.
Breast surgery for body dysmorphia.
Okay, so now that we've discussed like what it is, what the impact is, and everything, let's talk about what to do to fight back.
Hell yeah,
let's do that. So what are we? What is happening?
Well, we have decided to organize.
We're organizing.
Past tense and present tense and future tense because you just need to get on our level of feminist consciousness.
All right, so here's the dealio. I have this written up on the Shethinkers blog on WordPress, so if you want even further details, you can look it up there.
Yep, shethinkers.wordpress.com.
But basically, throughout the month of July, we've been doing local protests at Hobby Lobbies, and there's an event page that you can search for. It is public. It's called Fight for Reproductive
Justice.
Justice?
I made this thing and I don't remember.
We named it Fight for Reproductive Justice. So search for that event page and join it. Again, it's public, so anyone can join it. You don't have to be invited.
It's got a fighting uterus and everything.
Yes, it has a giant purple fighting
uterus. The name
uterus.
of our group is the Fighting Uteri.
Yep.
All right. We are organizing this. We have dates for local DFW protests and events through July. I need to get on it and make some concrete plans for August. And I do want to apologize for, like...
We had a little bit of a...
being in absentia the last 2 weeks. I had, like, my life kind of had a giant upheaval recently. I had to move and stuff. So, I had to kind of drop back. You know,
and I was still recovering from the flight too.
And Dory was still recovering from the flight, and C was originally going to go out of town. So yeah, we had to step back from organizing last Saturday and today. But as of now, we're back in full force.
Yep.
Next week, we're having a protest.
I'm going to be here all the time.
Okay.
Now.
Next Saturday,
all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Always. Next Saturday, I believe the protest is going to be at the Hobby Lobby off of Preston Road in Dallas. I could be wrong about that, but if I am, I'll just change it on the event page and no one will know.
So if you're sitting at home waiting for your official engraved invitation to fight for reproductive justice,
here you go.
Here's your fucking invitation.
Okay. So
come to our protest, and then we can
Yes.
talk, meet, exchange ideas, but if you're a man, you mostly need to shut your mouth and listen.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Which I just want to point out, we have some really great
there's some
male
great
allies
guys
coming out and
that came out with
supporting
us already.
It's amazing. We love you guys.
Held our signs in the wind.
They did. They held up our signs in the wind. My arms are too frail. They were that day. I was all fucked up.
It was just the oppressive heat and all of the old white women yelling at us about how they didn't need their rights, so why do we need them? And I'm just like,
I don't want to tell you how to live your life.
Okay.
Oh wait,
I didn't have birth control through my employer, and I had one child, and I'm like, cool story, bro. I don't want any children right now, so
all right.
What's your fucking point?
So back to the fighting back. So that's what we're doing in
Fighting
July.
dry.
We are doing protests, and we might do more protests in August and September. But we're kind of
at more places than just Hobby Lobby. Maybe like CPCs or.
But basically, in August, we're going to focus on shop-ins. We're going to
it's crafting.
With Hobby Lobby's
crafting.
rivals, and we're going to be buying crafting materials to make more protest signs and materials.
Well, the crafting materials, it's a whole, I planned this whole thing. All right, so July is protest month. We get out there to local Hobby Lobbies. We've been passing out pamphlets about what we're there for that include coupons to Michael's. So people
We probably
can
won't
go
have
to
the
Michael's.
coupons anymore.
I know, we'll have to find new ones or something. And then in August, we are organizing we're trying to make them massive, but you know how that stuff goes. It'll be great either way.
It's going to be massive because all of the listeners...
Stop hitting the
table. I didn't hit the table. I went like this.
I could hear it. Okay.
August is crafted.
September is crafted.
Okay.
If y'all would just I have this all in my head, all done. All right, August is shop-ins. We're going to go to Michael's and Joann's and local crafting places, and we're going to hand out our pamphlets there while shopping for craft supplies, which will be used in September during our crafting days, because we are going to craft letters and whatnot to send to Congress in order to fix this. Because they could go, again, this wasn't based off of a constitutional argument. This is based off of an argument from legislature that was passed. They can fix this if they wanted to. So we are organizing it's like a letter writing campaign, but with crafting. So so if you want to knit your letter,
knit some little uteri.
Knit a uteri. Knit a uterus.
And then
with some ovaries.
We're trying to plan a DC rally in October. I don't have a date yet.
And that would be great.
So,
because there's going to be a big angry rally in October in DC, right? About exactly this.
Yeah. I don't have an exact date on that yet, so in the coming weeks I'll have more information on it.
Pending updates.
But that is
we should all get involved before then, and then it'll be great. We'll have shirts. We'll all have
we're working on shirts. We're working on shirts right now. We've just been trying to match colors. We've been trying to all wear purples.
Yeah. It's great. Got purple lipstick and everything.
So yes, that is the general thing that we're doing. What are other people doing though?
Let us know on Facebook or email us.
You can let us know. Right now, there are 9 big name Democratic mayors who have written a letter asking Congress to intervene to prevent the Supreme Court's ruling in the controversial Hobby Lobby case. They know the ruling is going to be used by conservative activist judges to say, oh, these anti-discrimination laws that say you can't discriminate gay people, but your beliefs.
Yep.
The mayors worry it could have major consequences if lower courts use the decision more broadly in cases where religious beliefs and anti-discrimination laws collide. The mayors are asking Congress to pass some form of legislation stating that the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act, the legal basis for the decision, doesn't negate anti-discrimination laws. And this is one of the goals that we are supporting. This is one of the things we want to write into Congress. And they're already not enough, really. Gay is the only group they're concerned about, which leaves off the other two
only
words.
means gay men.
Yeah,
gay white men.
But we also need, endo wasn't enough. We need it for not just gay. We need it to cover bisexuals and trans people, everybody.
Especially trans women, because we get shat on a lot.
You do. But, yes, so that's how we're fighting back, and we want everybody to get involved. What are you doing, Celie?
Just petting the kitty.
Okay.
I'm scratching my cap. What?
Anyway, so I guess that's what we got. Do we want to do shitty sexist song?
Yeah, it's time for the shitty sexist
oh my
song.
God. Trigger warning for misogyny.
See, did you want to come over and listen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say there's a general trigger warning for misogyny in the shitty sexist
definitely.
song. Alright, we got the lyrics.
No.
Yeah, you'll have to look those up.
Nothing is not prepared here.
Ow.
On Shethinkers.
Nothing if not professional. The lyrics. That is, of course, what I'm wanting. Stupid Google.
Okay, see, you picked this one. Do you want to give us a little intro about it? While we're pulling up lyrics?
Oh my god.
Okay, well, this song is called...
Set up the song for us.
The song is called My Girlfriend is a Dancer, meaning, of course, exotic dancer. I was actually told about this song by some sex worker friends who said that they hear it, who are dancers, and they hear it at work, and that even though it has a good beat, like, it's just, they're so tired of hearing it, because it's just, you'll see. You'll see.
Alright, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes, we're ready. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Do they hear it?
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah.
I'm just gonna pause it right there.
Okay.
Yay for the attractive women are all liars trope.
It's not attractive women. It's not attractive women are all liars. It's a specifically anti-sex worker thing. It's
sex
workers
are
all lying bitches and lying whores.
They also don't like Admiral Akbar.
Why do you think they're working at the titty bar? Because they really genuinely care about you as a person? No, because they're there to pay their bills. Like.
Wow.
Okay, here's the thing.
Not even through the first verse yet.
Not
even through the first verse, and we already have him advocating violence against sex workers, which is a fucking huge deal.
Yep.
It is a...
They are literally at work, literally in the moment process of, like, sexually entertaining men, and they hear those words played.
I would like to point out that sex workers are... I think they are the most vulnerable group when it comes to abuse and violence.
Yes, the rates at which murder and rape and abuse are happening, especially because... And
they're not seen as real victims.
It's not just that. A lot of sex workers are also trans women.
Yes. Yep.
Especially trans women of color. And you cannot talk about trans activism unless you are also going to address the concerns and the needs and the vulnerabilities of black trans women and trans women of color, especially disabled black trans women and women of color, because...
Intersectionality.
Intersectionality. And it's like they're targeted by the police, it's ridiculous.
So it's...
The violence comes from every direction.
It really does. It doesn't just come from the people who commit violence against their person. It then comes from the system that commits oppressive violence against them.
And this is a song about sex workers who are dancers, which is one of the few sex work professions that are actually legal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Oh, noes. This dancer is dancing with a dude besides me.
Oh my god, I never saw that coming. This song is boring.
Right? I'm so bored
Well,
with the
whenever
song.
you're like, apparently it's got like, it's got like a deep bass, but you probably can't hear none of this.
When I'm walking in the bar, she's on stage like a porno star.
That's her job.
She's giving head frequently. She's off work, now we're driving home. She counts some money while she's on the phone. And then she asks me if I want to play. And we're headed for a 3-way.
So basically, this is his fantasy stripper girlfriend who is either ignoring him and sucking other guys' dicks or bringing home other hot strippers to have hot threesomes with her dickhead boyfriend, because that's obviously the life that they all live.
Yep, obviously.
It's for these cishet men to get their dick wet.
I would like to point out that he seems to have a really huge problem with her being sexual.
Even being a fucking dancer in the first place.
Hold on. With her being sexual with other men when it's her fucking job to do so, but he has no problem with himself being sexual with other men or with other women when it's just for him to get off.
He also doesn't seem to have a problem with the money that she's making.
He doesn't have a problem with the money she's making. So. So boring.
I know. Right?
I'm like, no,
Men can't write music.
I don't want to move my body for you. You couldn't pay me to do that. For him. I meant for him, I'm sorry.
Is this song over yet?
Wait. No, there's one more verse.
Sex again.
What fucking fantasy world does this
I don't
guy live
understand
in?
This.
All these strippers at my house.
All these strippers.
Put my dick in all of them.
All of these strippers always constantly throwing themselves at me. It's such a hard life, guys. This is so horrible.
Because strippers just don't get enough male attention when they're doing it and getting paid for it. They just need to go home and have more.
Don't you know that's why they're doing it?
Yep. Oh, it's actually because they're all straight women who love male attention.
Yep.
The kitties. We need a picture of this.
Yes. My cat was like at the other mic.
Oh, now he's claiming ownership of somebody.
Yep.
It's so original. I've never heard these concepts
I don't even know
before.
if he means his girlfriend because he likes how she sleeps with all these people, or if he means the other girl.
I don't know.
Who the fuck
Can't
cares?
tell. So that has been our shitty sexist song for the night.
Yep. That's all the time that we have. Be sure to join us next week and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our blog at secularshethinkers.wordpress.com. I'm your host, Dory Mooneyham. Dirty Nerdy is our co-host. C is our guest. Caitlin Fairchild is our Facebook admin and resident troll hunter. Our music includes Iron Man by Sound J, I Don't Know by Grapes, Spinnin' by Alex Baroza, and February Mumble Mix by Incoherent Mumble Train featuring Calendar Girl. Tonight's commercial music was by Jonathan Mann.
His last name is Mann.
Shethinkers is sponsored by Audible.com and BeSecular.com. And now, in the interest of being fair and unbiased, here is tonight's counter-argument.
This is nonsense. This has nothing to do with women. We want to give health to women, but these clinics should be licensed. The people performing these procedures should be skilled medical technicians. This is carving up the most intimate part of a woman, and botched abortions lead to death. And this business about safe abortion is just nonsense.
Tina, enough already. Come on.
Planets
I read